So इसी के साथ हमारा very interesting segment, which is a panel discussion that awaits you all. It's about building lives and projects together, the perfect design pair. Okay, so in building lives and projects together, the perfect design pair, we celebrate the remarkable partnership that have not only built iconic structures but also forged enduring bonds. And the leaders we like to call on stage is the dynamic duo of architects is architect Prashant Sutaria and architect Hemanti Sutaria. Zordar taaliyan ho jaye for the dynamic duo. Prashant ji, Hemanti ji, requesting you to please come on up. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause. Sir, ma'am, please, आप थोड़ी देर हम चाहेंगे you have blessed us with your presence. And before we start with the panel discussion, we wanted to ask you, firstly, Ras kya hai for the success? Because I know for a fact that I will be making notes. So what would you say is the secret of your success? Can we have the mic, please? एक mic मिल सकता है?
So good evening, good afternoon, everybody, and such a pleasure to be here. So many of my friends, colleagues.
Sir, यहाँ furniture थोड़ा हिल डुल रहा है. I would strongly recommend आप थोड़ा आगे आ जाइएगा.
Yeah. So great to be here amongst all of you. I think whatever you say success or whatever, I would only say that when you have a vision and you consistently work towards it, somewhere God is kind to you, and then you achieve things which people are saying is success. So we are truly blessed, and I think it's all about your vision, hard work, and passion.
Fantastic.
I can say my secret of success is my husband. I chose the right man.
wow. तो फिर हमें मैम से पूछना पड़ेगा कि राइट मैन चुनने के लिए what are the requirements? But ma'am, probably next panel we'll have a master class on this where you educate women of all ages. Fantastic. What a beautiful answer. जोरदार तालियां हो जाए for the Power Dynamo. So the leaders that you see in front, Mr. Prashant Sutaria is a principal architect at PSA Mumbai and co-founder of Center of Living and Planning for Tomorrow with 15 international and 13 national awards. Joining him is architect Hemanti Sutaria of HSA, renowned for her innovative blend of art, Indian crafts, contemporary design. Together they represent a remarkable fusion of experience and creativity. मैम इसके साथ आपने बोला फाइंडिंग द राइट मैन, एक मुझे सवाल पूछना था, बट हाउ इज़ इट फॉर अ कपल टू बी वर्किंग टुगेदर? सो वो कलीग्स टू कपल का ट्रांजिशन, इज़ इट सीमलेस, इज़ इट?
It's like a merger, right? So whether you merge construction with interiors, you merge husband with wife, you merge soulmates.
वाओ
All about working on the strengths and weaknesses of each other and evolving together.
मैम अब तो रुलाद हो गया, मतलब दिस इज आई एम गेटिंग जज्बाती. Mr. and Mrs. Sutaria, we request you to please take your seats, and leaders, as and when we take your names again, please come on up. Next we have the talented duo from Lavkar Design Associates Pune, architect Lavikar, architect Anjali Lavikar and architect Ashwin Lavikar, graduates of Sir J.J. College of Architecture. They co-founded their firm in 1993 after gaining experience with top architectural firms. Anjali ji is celebrated for creating inspiring spaces and has earned several international and national awards. Proceeding, so let's meet the visionary couple first, and then we'll continue with the introduction. Requesting them to please come on up. Architect Lavekar. Ma'am, sir, so you're coming all the way from Pune or Mumbai? All the way. Pune hota to thoda, we would have added little more. Fantastic. Okay. Okay. Next, we'd like to call on stage the visionary couple behind the four dimension, architect Mihir Kotak and architect Rinki Kotak. Since co-founding the firm in 2003, Mihir ji has combined architectural expertise with innovative interior design, while Rinki ji has built the firm's reputation and clients' trust. My God. The ultimate duo. Oh, they're from Mumbai as well? Oh, ma'am, where are you from? Mumbai, Mumbai. Oh, from Pune, is it? मुंबई हो गया ना ये भी पुणे ये भी मुंबई से ही आ रहे हैं अभी हाँ ओ ओ वाओ मुंबई टीम मुंबई मी पण मुंबईकर all Mumbai we Mumbaikars have dominated Delhi okay the last okay let's give it up a warm welcome and a big round of applause for moderating this session. Please join us in welcoming Ms. Preeti Singh, the Additional Director General of NAREDCO, operating under the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of India. She's also a founding member of NAREDCO Mahi, the women's wing of NAREDCO, and serves on the advisory boards of MentorX Women, Amity University, and CII Women's Wing. My God, what a power-packed session this is. Ma'am, stage is all yours. Moderator has the toughest task. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the lovely introduction. Before we go ahead with our panel discussion, my heartiest congratulations to the founder, Vartika Trivedi. Thank you so much, Vartika, for organizing such a beautiful, wonderful conference. And this is one of the greatest initiative I've ever seen, because being a founder of NAREDCO's Women Wing, NAREDCO Mahi, I know how critical, difficult it is to start something new from the scratch and take it to the next level. Now, I am truly delighted, humbled and honored to be sharing this platform with industry experts, but I'm feeling left out over here. I have such beautiful couples and I'm the only single solo person. Can we have a huge round of applause for our all the panelists, the rock stars of the real estate industry, the amazing power couples we have from the architecture and interior industry. And the best and unique part about this couple is that we have 3 love stories on this panel. So if you are expecting some technical discussions out of this panel, please, you're wrong. You're going to have all mixed masala, the technical information, the love stories, emotions, and of course, sentiments in the architecture. My first question will be to Hemanti ma'am and Prashant Sutaria ji. So first question goes to I hope I'm audible to the audience. Is this correct? Oh. Yeah. Oh. So I am going to keep the mic little away. I think we should keep the mic away. Then it's fine, or still echoing? It's echoing? But audience can hear us? हम आपस में ऐसे बात कर लेंगे. Oh, I'll try to do it both the way. So the first question goes to the first power couple of Mr. and Mrs. Sutaria. There is a saying, ma'am, आपने stage पे आते ही, you said a beautiful, wonderful quote. You said, मेरी success के पीछे मेरे husband का हाथ है. So this reminds me of a powerful quote which says, there's a woman behind every successful woman. But you have actually addressed that behind every successful woman, there is a man. So my first question goes to you like this, that what is the vision and mission And you work on the sentiments of architecture of fusion art and contemporary art. At the same time, Mr. Sutaria contributes more towards built environment, green and sustainable practices. So how do you make it a healthy balance, balancing it all with both the visions and of course going local for vocal, which is also the mission of our Honorable Prime Minister. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you for the question, Preeti, to begin with. Uh, to begin with, I would like to say, what was the first part of your question before going local and vocal? The fusion part,
Yeah,
right?
the fusion
Yeah,
art.
so I personally feel honestly that life is all about a balance, which we all know. Be it in architecture, interiors, human life, husband, wife, or son, mother, all relationships, right? So when you have the right balance and you have the ability to give and take, you can make it the principle in everything that you do. So in our case, we work with our strengths and we understand what are our limitations. And we fuse them together to evolve and grow together. And that's the beauty of perfection. That's what I feel. And regarding the global,
So what Hemanti said is the collaboration between husband and wife. But as far as fusion is concerned, I must say that she has designed a very beautiful house, and how her idea of doing things in fusion and my passion for sustainability worked together for a very small house we did in Uttarakhand. And that house she conceptualized using the old furniture and upscaling that furniture. And for say about 3,000 square feet house, she did it for her best friend Meeta, somewhere near Gwaldam, and it has got an award from Italy for sustainable design. It has got an award, honorable mention from Architecture Master Prize US, and I think that represented. And for a sum of I think about 35 lakh rupees, they not only constructed that house over there, they furnished it, including interiors, because everything was upcycled. So I think there were multiple goals which were achieved in that one particular exercise. And that's where her philosophy of, fusing things worked very beautifully. As far as my practice goes, I believe in contributing towards betterment of humanity through better, well-built environment. It could be a smaller dwelling, it could be a large-scale township projects that I do. And I think sustainability and inclusivity of people who are part of that project, affected by that project, user of that project, is very much part of the ethos that our practice follows. And I think that's how I look at it.
Thank you so much. My next question goes to Mr. and Mrs. Lovicker. First of all, thank you so much to all the panelists. You all have traveled from different states on different timings. And I personally believe that it's easy to give money to someone to help, but giving time is the most precious and difficult time in today's era. So you have given your time, and of course the audience members, they've taken out their time. So thank you so much for taking out your precious time. Now, Anjali ma'am, here again, your love story begins from the college. And like I said, we should not be only expecting technical information out of this panel discussion, but इसमें emotion है, drama है, career है, sentiment है, और बहुत सारे new innovative ideas हैं. But when you started your journey, sir already had a legacy to take it forward from his family. And you were completely new. You're the first timer architect in your family. How did you balance it all? Because I know that it's not easy for a woman to balance work life at the same time when your husband has a legacy and inspirations to look up to. And you have to keep up with the pace, you have to keep up with the speed and the expectation. So, what was your mantra to balance it all, ma'am?
First of all, thank you, Wade, for inviting us over here. It's always been a pleasure to be a part of WAD. Vartika, Madhurima, your team, your entire team is always working hard to make it happen. Now, as far as my love story goes, yes, it's been a journey where Ashwin already had a legacy, already had inspirations, and he comes from a family of architects, way back from pre-independence era. So for me, Ashwin has been the inspiration actually. I have always followed his footsteps. I have looked up to him for the exposure that we came up with together. And that's been my journey and my contribution to it. Actually, yes, it's been hard work for me, much harder than it has been for him to come into the profession. And from him, I would like to hear, in fact, whether I have lived up to it.
Sir, what is your take on it? Sorry? What is your take on it? Would you like to add something?
I'm not going to give very serious answers. We've been together almost last 38 years and know each other since the first year of architecture. So it's been a long journey. Practically grew up together. And so I think, and we have been at forums where they have discussed this being architects and working together many times. So definitely you're not going to get a very serious answer from him. That I will leave to Prashant and Hemanti to give very serious answers. They're very serious, very passionate, and I would like it to be a fun event.
100%.
I hope you echo that as well. Yeah.
100%, and that's the core, theme we have kept for this panel discussion. Don't expect serious answers.
Definitely. So talking about the two of us, as I said, we practically grew up together. We know each other since the first year of architecture, and we started working while we were in the fourth year of architecture. We started getting small projects in Mumbai, interior projects, and we started designing together. In fact, we have a visiting card with our maiden names, with her maiden name on it. I'm still Ashwin Lavekar. So it's been since then that we have been working together, and it's like the whole design sensibilities also grew together. So it's like हाथ पकड़ के यहाँ तक आए हैं.
But sir, it's a very challenging field. Architecture is something which needs innovation and creativity on a regular basis. And we live in such a fast-paced era where technology is changing, innovation, people's styling, trends, fashion, everything changes. But then to cope up with such challenge, that too with your partner, who is your home minister at the home, and at workplace also you guys are partner.
Yeah.
So it has of course its own pros and cons. That also we'd like to understand from you.
Just listen to your wife, simple. That's the mantra I've been following. And I am speaking at the Women Architects Conference. I dare not say anything else. So the last 32 years of being married, I have survived very strongly by just listening to my wife. So that is the mantra. I would like all the young people to follow it.
I hope everyone agrees. Please raise your hand if you don't agree.
Prashant, listen to me.
Don't agree.
Yes, that is the success mantra. So for the rest of your career, listen to your wife, and you will thank me for that later on.
Ma'am wants to add
So
something.
my constant sentence to him is, I told you so. You did not listen. I told you so. It's a tagline now.
Wow, thank you so much. The next question is for Mr. and Mrs. Kotak. This one is very close to my heart because another couple, dear audience members, their love story begins at the college, but what I find really interesting here is the first 4 years, they never noticed each other. Acha, yeah. So, Amam, my question carries it all. So, how did this journey begin, liking someone, and then becoming friends, and then becoming life partners? And once you become a life partner, and of course you are partner in professional life and personal life both. then it becomes 1 and 1, it becomes 11, not 2. Means your companion in everything. But how do you do justice to the individualistic approach and equal respect for each one? Because both of you are equally qualified. Both of you have equal rights and hold on your profession. So, what is your mantra to have that mutual respect and understanding for the level headed, strong opinions as a husband and wife and as the partners at work?
Well, good evening, guys. Hope it's a good evening. I mean, it's that time of the day where everybody's kind of little sleepy. But yes, we like to add up a little bit of excitement in this session. I'm 6'3", and it is practically impossible to not notice me. But out of the 8 guys in our college, she could not notice me for like 4 years. Okay, so that's how it was. We happened, I mean, I guess it was destined. I was eye level, probably. I've always been the backbencher. She's always been the class representative. So I guess that stands true that the opposites attract. And that's what happened. We got along well in a 4th year group submission where we kind of started talking or got introduced to each other. And eventually in 5th year, we got a couple of projects and we thought might as well start looking at things in a different way. So I have always been the technical part guy and she's always been the creative side. So in our profession, I don't know, I mean, I'm assuming that most of the couples practice or they do their individual projects, whereas we have been lucky to work together for most of our projects where she takes care of one part of the project, whereas I take care of the other part of the project. So that's where we kind of complement each other very well. And so far so good. It's been 21 years, so God's been kind.
I saw you when I asked this question that who all agreed to their wife's opinion. So you raised both the hands, not even a single hand. You raised both the hands. Can you elaborate?
So what he's saying after 38 years, I'm saying after 20 years. So I've learned it earlier, I would say.
Oh, lovely. Rinki ma'am, your inputs, please.
So as he said, like when you're talking about the earlier journey and how we got together, so you won't believe we've not even dated for a single day. We just got a project and my parents were looking for some guy, and obviously after doing architecture I was clueless about whom to get married to, and here he was. I said he's a friend and I always wanted to practice architecture. So I was like, if I don't get to practice, what is the point of doing so much of work? And I feel when we say that it is a kind of a survival when we work together, and it is also a possibility that we can't survive without each other. Like architects, if we don't understand each other or don't trust each other in this kind of a scenario, I feel it is the best thing that has happened to us.
Wow. Thank you so much for this beautiful answer. Now going back to Mr. and Mrs. Sutaria. Sir, I remember when we had our first phone call, you were discussing about the safety security issue for a woman, and you said that ma'am of course is well qualified and she has got better ideas sometimes, but when she has to travel to suburbs area or to other rural areas, of course you have to be very specific and she has to ensure that everything is taken care safety security wise. So what are the challenges what you face being an independent architect when you travel, and what suggestions you would like to give to the budding architects to fix it on their own?
So I think it's a very critical issue, a very sensitive one. So on one hand, we believe in gender equality. On the other hand, you are asking this question, which is a burning question. Say, for example, when you go to a site, there are no toilets, facilities which are available for a woman architect or a woman designer. One of the very burning issue. I mean, how do they stay there for a long time? The other, of course, is because we work across India, sometimes there are sites which are in areas which, from our perspective, may not be perceived as 100% safe. So, like she got a project somewhere in central Maharashtra, and the only way to travel there was either an overnight train journey or take a flight to Hyderabad and travel by 5 hours by road. In such scenarios, it's very natural as a, like my husband instincts take over. And I said, okay, chalo, I'll go with her once or twice. And once she is comfortable, and of course our team is there, but just to do a recce, everything looks fine. And then she takes over. Then she goes for next 1.5 year, 2 years, nothing to worry. Or for example, when she started a project, recently she started a project in Guwahati, in Assam. So since I'm anyway doing a lot of projects there, I went, I met the local guy there, where it is located. I did a small recce. And then, where she is going to stay. So I think these things, somewhere I feel when you go out of your comfort zone of, let's say, Mumbai or western suburbs of Mumbai or extended MMR region or Mumbai, Pune, then I think all these things definitely come into picture. And not only her, even if somebody from my office, any girl or a woman is supposed to travel, or for that matter, even man is supposed to travel, we personally make sure that, everything is, sorted out, that pick up, drop, everything is safe. And I'm sure most of the practices must be doing it. But this is something we normally don't talk about. We take it for granted, or it's within the organization. I'm just putting it on the platform because this is a woman-centric conference, and I'm sure a lot of girls, women may have certain, challenges which our organization is facing. So I think these are some of the issues which I would like
Sure.
to say.
Hemanti ma'am, you would like to add something to it?
So what I'd like to add is I always had a comfort that my husband is an architect too. So when you're meeting one of the partners in the city of Mumbai, and they say, for example, my partner is sitting in Guwahati, I would always subconsciously say that I'm Hemanti Sutaria from PSA Architects. Only so that they know that yes, I do have a backing. I come from a background of 3 decades, and there is a husband in the picture. Because when we go to very remote zones, it's always good to make people aware so you become clearer in your head. Also, what I'd like to add is when I would do a site in Pavna, which is in Maharashtra, or in Lonavala, and if I'm coming home very late, I'd see to it that my 20-year-old driver is with me. Because then I can do 2-3 sites together. It's all very safe, and the highway is phenomenally great. But it's subconscious. Somewhere it is there in my mind that I still need to, maybe all over the world I need to keep that edge on and be aware. That's what I'd like to add.
Yeah, sure. Sir, you're, yes.
I'd like to
Yeah,
take
yeah,
this
please.
question again. Uh, at Lavekar Design Associates, we have always boasted of having a all-women team for the last more than 20 to 25 years. I mean, me, my drivers, and my dog were the only males here. So my dog is no more, so it's only me and my drivers. Otherwise, the rest of the office was a totally 100% female-oriented office. And we have always been very, very sensitive to the fact that they need to travel to site, they need to be escorted properly. It's not about being a weaker section, but it's about being taken advantage of. So on our sites, on our projects, we've always seen to it that they have been respected well. There are facilities for toilets, etc. Because men can go anywhere, as they say, but with women, they have this problem. So I think, and this especially being a women's architects, women conference, it's very imperative that the women architects, women practitioners make it a point to ascertain, to really stress upon the fact that these facilities have to be available for everybody. You can't just let it go just like that.
Yeah.
So, and we have always taken care of that aspect of it. That on site, earlier we used to realize that the contractors do not respect women the way they would respect a man coming on site. So we have taken a lot of efforts to see to it that this part of the way of people's looking at women designers have changed. And I tell you, it has worked wonder over the years.
Absolutely.
So all our site visits, they are even today, two girls had gone to a site and they were there for half a day. They were on site inspecting everything. And I think it's working wonders. They are getting that kind of respect which they truly deserve.
Yeah, sure. My next question goes to Anjali, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable inputs. Uh, I remember when we were sitting in the coffee lounge and we were discussing about balancing it before kids and after kids. And your professional life, your career taking a completely 360-degree shift wherein you, both of you have worked as a team and decided to contribute to kids, you're contributing together to nurturing and contributing to kids, raising it together, wherein most of the cases the women has to give up to her career. So ma'am, how did it change your professional life, and what was your mantra to balance your professional life and not to affect it when you have an extension in your family?
So LDA was our dream always, and we have nurtured it until now. It has taken a 24 by 7 of our time to do that, especially my time. But when a kid came into the picture, when our daughter came into the picture, I decided to slow down a bit, and that's how I took it up. I never did stop. I used to take her to the sites whenever possible. I used to carry her food, water, whatever she needed, and I would take her there. But then at some point, I decided that I would be going back home early. It wasn't going to be a 24 by 7 work time for me. And slowly, Ashwin also joined me on that. And that's how we started coming back a little early at home and not bringing the work home. Our office troubles were left in the office. Otherwise, we used to be with each other completely, totally, and fighting it out and enjoying everything and doing everything together. But now there was a third person who needed our attention, and that's how we slowed down. Especially I slowed down. But I was always lucky to have an office to fall back on when my kid grew up. And now that she's away for the last 6, 7 years, again, I'm full time into my work 24 by 7, just like it used to be, and things have not changed. So LDA has only gotten bigger, better, and I think I have lived a full life. I've been a mother completely, I've been a professional, I've been Ashwin's wife. So I think I'm wearing just many, many hats, and it's a good feeling for me.
Yeah, lovely. And one quality what I see in all the women, whether they are homemakers or the professionals, they are multitaskers. This quality is a God-gifted quality, and we somehow know how to fix problems. One day, you ask your husbands to manage the house and office, and then you see how everything collapses. Who all agree with me? I know it's a surprise questions,
There are
but
at least 50 missed calls on my phone that day.
so
So you're asking about the husband managing the home.
yeah, everything.
Why not?
Yeah.
या आप आ जाओ मैं आ जाऊँ खाना बना के पूरा परोसता हूँ
Oh wow.
कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है it's a myth that husbands can't manage the house. I think we can do it very, very well.
Sure, lovely.
Yeah?
Can we have
Prashant,
a
say
huge
yes.
round of applause for Mr. Lovika? The same question I like to ask our fellow male panelist also, and of course, the Kotaks and the Sutarias. What is your take on this question?
Prashant, can you manage the house? Can you manage your house? No, it's not why not, yes or no? Oh, you can manage Hemanti, okay. So you can't manage the house.
Hemanti ma'am, please take the mic and say.
I said he can manage Hemanti so the house gets managed. But on a lighter note, I had taken a break when I had two boys. And as they grew, when they were plus 10-year-olds, I decided to go back to work. I used to go for accounts, etc., but not really architecture. So I told Prashant, give me one 2-3 bedroom site, you know, for me to kind of settle in. The first site he gave me is a penthouse. So I'm like, Prashant. So he's saying, tu kar ne yaar, chalu, I'm there with you. You know, when he came, seriously, he came for the housewarming. So this is how I restarted my career, but the confidence just shot up because he had confidence in me. So that's one thing. And the other thing is that Prashant can manage everything, but very recently, day before, he told me something for the house to be got done. So I said, why don't you tell the contractor? So he's like, no, no, this is a house issue. So I'm like, okay. The next day in office, he told me something to get something done. So I said, why don't you tell the contractor? Now it's an office issue, right? He's saying, can you just manage both? So you've got your answers, yeah? No, it's true.
Absolutely. You
Isn't
nailed
it
it.
true?
Sir, you?
But, but so somebody asked me that do you have your own practice or you work somewhere? I said, yeah, I work under her. So that, so I work in her office. So that's what it is, you know. She's the boss.
That's a win-win, huh? मतलब चित भी मेरी और पट भी मेरा. Wow, diplomatic. Lovely. Thank you. Coming back to the Kotaks, would you like to add something?
So I think all men believe in peace, and we like to be focused on one thing at a time. So आप घर दे दो घर संभालेंगे ऑफिस दे दो ऑफिस संभाल लेंगे आप बोलो घर भी संभालो ऑफिस भी संभालो बच्चे भी संभालो
What do you mean when you say men like peace? So मतलब you deserve the Nobel Prize for peace. And women are the, oh no, really, Rinki ma'am,
no,
your
no. We
input
believe
to
in
it.
peace so that we accept whatever is offered to us and whatever is told to us. We just follow.
Lovely. Can we have a huge round of applause for this casual, fun chat? Yeah, Rinki ma'am.
So I would like to say that yes, he definitely helps in the household work too. I think now after 20 years, he's more into that and like to please office. Yeah, I am happy to do this, and you take care of the office. So when I initially also said that it is I feel it is the best thing to happen if you have a partner who is an architect. When we see all women go through this, right? We all have babies and we all feel that the priorities have to be changed from time to time. But then when you have a partner to, you have an own office, you can always go back and you have that support and you're always there in the fraternity. It's not that you're completely cut off from your profession. So that is the plus point I feel when you're working with your own partner. Your kids can be carried to office. They have all the comfort. You are happy that the kids are at, comfort. And you all don't have to give up on any career or you don't feel that is what my initial take also was there.
Wow, beautiful. My next question is to you, ma'am. Can you describe a project where you differing design philosophies challenged each other but led to a more innovative result at the end?
So we both, as we spoke earlier, we both started to work together even before marriage. So what happened that time I used to work at drawings, so it'll be more comfortable and convenient for me. And he used to take care of the site at that time. But we eventually figured out, there is a way where both of us can have their own part into it and we can still work together. So regarding some project, I think you can start.
Well, as she mentioned, she's always been the creative part and I've been the technical part of our firm. So when it came to a project, we're doing a township, so thoda boring hai, but just hear it out. So it was, obviously when you're doing a township, the primary focus is to consume the FSI and to restrict the number of floors and all of that. So when you do that, eventually you end up having a very small space left for the prerequisite RG area or amenity area or podium area and stuff like that. So she has always been driven that design, form follows function, and I have been function follows the form. So when we had this, there was an argument, there was a heated debate on that, and then she will always make sure कि ये करना है, कैसे करना है, तू देख ले, but ये करना है. So she'll always leave that technical part on me, and somehow God's been kind. I've able to come up and give her the solutions and which are accepted. So when this came towards this project, we had to kind of confine space for the recreational areas. And since she was very adamant that we had to create something which had to be more than what it is, then we came up with the idea of having floating pods. So that not only increased the surface area by 1.5 times, but then yes, technically there were challenges which I could help resolve. So it was like the best of both, and end of the day, the project became a super hit because of that. The concept was innovative, the surface area increased, the client was happy, and we both were happy.
Lovely. That's a beauty when you actually complement each other. And like I said, 1 plus 2 is not 2. It becomes 11 when you complement in a real manner. So that's amazing. I like to know how much time do I have, because I would like to take a quick surprise question. It's time up. All right. So thank you so much. With this, we conclude. Yeah, like one minute quick question. And this I have not shared with my panelists, so it's a surprise question, dear audience. Goes with Mr. and Mrs. Sutaria first. See, we all are talking about what architect knows, and they have been getting awarded, of course, for their work, and it is always amazing to appreciate. But what are the challenges when an architect starts practicing on their own? And this is what we were discussing in the lounge, what architect doesn't know when they start their own organization.
So to begin with, once you come out of architecture and you graduate, you know what you don't know. The first time you go on a site, you realize, अरे ये तो मुझे नहीं पता है, वो तो नहीं पता है. What we really didn't learn, which took experience to help us, was two things. One, according to me, is accounts. We had no clue. We were good at applied engineering, applied mechanics. But when it came to accounting with a client, it took us time. And the second thing is the psychology of a human being. I think this should be a part of the curriculum, because we need to understand a client's body language, a client's ability to understand what we are expressing, and to get to the tea of the matter. We were taken a lot for granted shuru mein, and then we would actually evaluate the values which we had and whether the client's values match to that, and then create. So these are two things from my end, I feel.
So I just want to share some information, and what Hemanti said is very true. The business side of profession, I mean, we may not want to call it that way, but there is a business side of running an organization, or a business, what we call the business administration or whatever. I think that is something which we need to learn. But I want to share that COA, that is Council of Architecture, 2 years ago published a handbook, which is Manual of Architectural Practice. And the last book in that, that is volume 5, gives you everything about how a practice should be set up, what are the licenses that you need to take, you know. Then there are sample letters which are given, and there are formats for your billing which are given, and then what turnover you have and what should be the general staffing standards. Everything is given. So I think this information fortunately now is available, and we have our council vice president Mr. Gajanand Ram over here, and they have done some exemplary work in this field. So I'm really grateful to the council. And I would also share, I was one of the author of that 650-page book. So 7 of us wrote that book during COVID, and it's now officially, they have gazetted it in terms of, you know, publishing it and made it official. So it's available on the website. It's also available on Flipkart now. So do buy it if you feel that you need some guidance in terms of setting up of practice, or a guidance to how to run it more efficiently. And this information is available. But a point well taken from what Hemanti said, it needs to be introduced as a part of the curriculum. That will help greatly and reduce the struggle.
Yes. Prashant did mention about the guidelines that have come into the picture. But all said and done, life does not come with a manual. So what you have to learn is to take life heads on, deal with the situations that come to you as, as a surprise packet, and then find solutions. So that's what I would like to say.
Thank you. The Cortex, would you like to add something? What architect doesn't? Yeah. No, no, please, sir.
See, fundamentally, as we say, in architecture college, they teach you to design and full stop. That's it. We are only taught to design and make working drawings, etc. But the entire business of architecture, how to to develop it as a profession, talking to clients, presenting yourself, presenting your work, managing money. Architects can design, but they cannot earn money, is what was told many, many years ago, and I think it has continued for many years. Now things are getting better, people are getting savvier on that front, but that is something that doesn't get taught in the design school at all, which is very, very important. When we started off, we actually took the help of our seniors, even in drafting letters and offer letters, and even asking for fees. People don't know how to ask for fees. So it's a simple thing. You need to have money to survive. So there's so many things, aspect of the profession, of the professional practice, earning money, maintaining accounts. All these things are just not taught to us, and something that needs to be done in a very, very professional manner. So we have been talking to architectural schools to add this as a curriculum. As a little bit of business administration has to be added in the curriculum, but hopefully that will happen soon. But till now, it has not happened. I think each and every person who comes out of design school and wants to start his or her own practice struggles on that front, which should not be the case.
Sure. Thank you. So, Mr. and Mrs. Kotak, would you like to add something? What architect doesn't know?
So it's a journey, I guess. All of us have gone through that. It's an everyday process. So you burnt your fingers, you learn something, you try to improvise. But yes, primarily, I think if you understand how to present yourself, document yourself, and keep it as crisp as possible. There is a sense of insecurity that everyone goes through. Even after 20 years, we still have that. I'm sure they also would be having it at a different stage. So if there's a client who comes up with a stature that, array, this is my project, and you desperately want to take that project. So you kind of go with the flow. But we have understood over the years that if you are professional and if your work is good, if you stick to what you believe in, eventually the client will understand and they will follow what you want them to follow. I'm talking just about the nuances that are required to run the organization. Designing is very, very subjective, so we'll not discuss that.
So, apart from all this, I just feel that architecture is very different. It is never a business model. So, there's a misconception sometimes the youngsters might not understand or know, because we are eventually architects and designers. Burnt our fingers, did everything, learned lessons, but we're still happy with what we have and what we are designing. I think designing is the only thing that makes us happy eventually, is what my take is.
Absolutely. So I conclude this session with a quote which says, हर घर कुछ कहता है कि इसमें कौन रहता है. So can we have a huge round of applause for this amazing couple? And thank you so much for being a lovely audience.
Preeti, I'll just add something.
Yeah, please.
So, since we are ending it up, I would just say that it's, working with partners in this creative field. For me, I feel it is like capturing nature, that it is not perfect, but it is beautiful.
Thank you so much. And it lies on a person, how beautiful you make it when you work together. And like you said, you are in a creative field. You are not a businessman or a businesswoman. You are not manufacturing products in a factory. You're working on innovation, creativity, and it's in your hands how beautifully and passionately you work together. Lovely. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause to the absolute power couples, and of course our amazing moderator. Ma'am, my understanding of this session was secret to success is a great husband. Of course, does not apply to the men here, but हाँ यही मैंने सीखा है. Fantastic. Again, a big round of applause, and we request Ms. Vartika Dwivedi to please come on up and present all our speakers with the token of appreciation from Wade Asia 2024.